A national engagement on targeted capacity building for women and girls with disabilities has ended in Accra with renewed calls for systemic reforms to remove structural barriers that hinder equal participation in education, leadership, and employment. The workshop focused on translating policy commitments on inclusion into practical everyday implementation.
Discussions at the workshop highlighted the gap between Ghana's disability laws and the lives of persons with disabilities, particularly women and girls who continue to face multiple layers of exclusion. Concerns raised included limited accessibility in education, communication barriers, weak institutional support, and persistent social stigma that restricts full participation in national development. The executive director of the Ghana National Association of the Deaf, Mr. Juventus Duorina, called for urgent improvements in communication accessibility, stressing that the absence of sign language interpretation in many institutions remains a major barrier for deaf persons.
In Ghana, apart from some few institutions that have sign language interpreters, for example, the University of Winneba, Legon, and some other few universities, most of the private universities don't have sign language interpreters, meaning that if a deaf person goes into that university, that person would have access. And apart from just information to, when it comes to the courses that they are even learning, they are not even in sign language. So it means that deaf people cannot access education, access employment and all that because of access to communication.
Professor Augustina Nami of the University of Ghana urged participants to adopt structured personal development approaches, emphasizing planning, discipline, and prioritization as key tools for leadership and success. The UNDP's Dr. Edward Aprachum said disability inclusion must be treated as a core development priority rather than a parallel agenda, underscoring its importance to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals.
At UNDP, we approach this work through broader lens of inclusive governance and sustainable development, because we know that achieving the SDGs, particularly those related to gender equality, reducing inequalities, and inclusive institutions, will simply not be possible unless women and girls with disabilities are fully included as agents of change.
The engagement concluded with a call for stronger partnerships between government, civil society, and disability organizations to accelerate inclusive development in Ghana.